as head coach Jerry Olszewski, running back Dejan Newell, offensive lineman Nick Pappas, defensive tackle Jake Lee, and quarterback Trey Hyde. Let Coach start us with an opening statement, and then if you ask questions after that, go right ahead.
I appreciate everybody coming out today. It's an exciting start to our season. Media Day is always a great day to celebrate some of the things that are coming in the season ahead. I look at our class, we got a great mix of upperclassmen and some young guys, but young guys with some experience. We're excited about the returners that we have and the fellas that are being asked to step up into some pretty critical roles. This is a big season for us. You know, we have to bounce back from a substandard season as far as record is concerned, and it's been a journey since the last game of last year. Really, our locker room has changed to a mindset that we're better than this, and this is our standard, and these kids have lived up to it. And the young men that are in our program, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of the work ethic that we had last spring, and now it's carried over into the fall. And the second thing I'm most proud of is the retention that they had from concepts and what we do, and being able to bring that into fall camp and excel our learning cycle. So we're playing at a pretty high level. And obviously I have some of my leaders in the football team, 3 seniors and 1 underclassman, that are an integral part to the success ratio of this football team. And I'm really glad they get a chance to talk with you guys too and open up questions. And just excited about Augustana football 2014.
What was one of the, was there 1 or 2 issues on this team that you needed to address on the field as far as once fall camp started? Was there one particular item that really needed to be worked on from spring ball? Yeah,
we wanted to elevate competition. You know, one of the prime focuses of our fall camp was that we're going to compete every day. We're going to put, after install was done in the first 5 days, we wanted to put a compete cycle into every practice we did and get our guys hungry for success. We know we have a pretty good defense returning. Top 4 defense last year, and we expect to be better this year. And the bar has been raised there. We have to keep that pace offensively, and that was a major objective by our staff, and our kids knew that we wanted to make sure every practice was a competitive day. And it's going to, you know, this spring was the same thing. One day you win, one day you lose on either side of the ball. But making sure that we left fall camp pretty confident that that actually happened, and it did.
Where was that competition coming from?
All periods. All periods. You know, and I'm talking about team competition. It could be in a Skelly situation where we're putting it down a distance to it, you know, red zone period, third and money down period, coming out period. We charted as a staff, was it a win or a loss, offensively or defensively? And let our guys know at the end of practice, we flat out told them, hey, this was a defensive day. We got to bounce back tomorrow and get better at what we do. And these young men have really taken that to charge, and that's what excites me. What really excites me is seeing their effort and execution and their want and desire to be the best that they can be. And that's putting the standard on that every day in periods of assessment that we can say you win or you lose in this down and distance. And that's the difference that we had to get over from last year.
Can you talk about being picked 6 in the preseason? Is that something you guys use as motivation, or?
We didn't even talk about it. I mean, we didn't talk about it. We didn't bring it up. You know, you look at where those teams are ranked, and it's obviously coaches, and most of that stuff's based off the year previous, and then guys you have returning. Well, over the summer, some things happen. Young man may not come. You may get most teams, not every team, but some team get a transfer in, or somebody that really excelled in spring ball of the underclassmen. So that really doesn't mean much to us where other people rank us. You know, we know who we are and who we want to be. I was shocked a little bit that we were ranked as high as we were. But at the same time, that's just great. We're a 1-0 football team. We're going to go every single day that it matters, and that starts with Crookston. So 4 teams from the south were up in the top 6 and 2 from the north. We'll find out in the first 4 weeks, you know, if we belong with that ranking or not, and I'm excited for that challenge.
What's it going to take for this program? You're kind of in the, they had you slot in the middle of the pack. There's that upper echelon with Mankato, St. Cloud, Duluth. What's it take to get back into that level? Because this program had been there before.
Exactly what I just said. You know, the answer I just gave is exactly what's going to put us in that spot. More consistency on all phases of the game, a belief in the locker room that it doesn't matter what happens at any single point in the game. We have to have belief in one another on every side of the ball and on special teams that we're going to get the job done and end up on top. And that's just the Augustana way now. That's all these guys know. It's their culture. It's compete and go to win. And when we don't, we're upset, and we learn from it. Don't repeat the same mistake. But that's what's going to take, consistency. Because there are good teams, and they're ahead of us right now. But our job is to make sure we're running after them and catch them, and then set the standard where they got to chase us.
Trey, can you talk about having a full slate of games under your belt and how it's going to help you out for this season?
I mean, there were times last year I felt like I got overwhelmed at times, but after having a full spring ball, I mean, with the offense again, and now a whole fall, I can tell just in the 10, 11 days we've been here, offensively we're clicking a lot better, and it helps going up against what we think could be one of the best defenses in the NSIC. Every single day we get to see them. They're giving us a lot more looks than we're going to get on a weekly basis. So I think that makes us better every week, and I can see guys improving. I know I'll feel more comfortable. I think you ask Dej and Pap, and I think we're in a better spot now than we were at this time last year.
What do you think the ceiling for this offense is?
I mean, our goal is to be one of the best in the conference, and hopefully one of the best in Division II football.
Coach, you've been a defensive coordinator, you've been a special teams guy. You're taking over the offense, right? You're the offensive coordinator. Compare what you're preparing for this year compared to last year as the offensive coordinator.
Well, I've been able to delegate a lot more to my assistants because my offensive line coach has been with me for 5 seasons. My receivers coach has been with me for 2 seasons. So it allows me the ability to delegate more and know what we do well, emphasize the talent we have, and we were able to build on that base stuff from last year and last spring to really put ourselves in a situation to isolate a Dejan Newell, isolate a Nick Lee, isolate some wide receiver player, our quarterback. That's a great point for me as a head coach and knowing this game holistically to step back and be more of an overhead and seeing what we're doing well. And today is a prime example. Our coaches were extremely frustrated offensively with some of the plays that happened. We were throwing a 10-pound ball that was slick as a watermelon. So I wasn't nearly as upset at that. I was extremely pleased with our operation, how we got in and out, what plays we called in situations, whether we make the play or not. As a coaching staff, our job is to make sure we put our kids in a position to be successful, and then let them play. And I trust our young men. I trust if I'm going to put them in a chance to be successful, that is what we'll be. I love our locker room. I love our kids.
Jake, do you feel like you guys kind of developed a bit of an identity defensively last season?
Yeah, I think we did. With the new defense coming in and playing the old defense, we got accustomed to it pretty quick. And we enjoyed playing in it, and we enjoyed what it brought to the table and how it made us feel about ourselves. And once we started realizing that this was our kind of defense and we started playing well, we take pride in the defense we play, and we take pride in who we are ever since that defense was instilled in us.
Jake, what's the strength of the defense right now?
I'd say the front 7, a lot of age, a lot of game experience. The secondary is a little bit younger, but we have athletes all around. I wouldn't say there's too much of a weak spot here and there. I think overall we're a good defense, but definitely front 7. There's a lot of experience, a lot of teaching going on, especially by the older guys, which is helping the younger guys, and the D-line as well. If we can get that 4-man rush, we'll help the secondary out and become a total defense.
Sounds like a future coach, doesn't he?
Yeah. Watch out. Watch your back.
Yeah. No. I watch my front.
Dejan, how about you offensively? I know you had to be frustrated last year offensively. At times the offense just didn't click at times. What are you expecting now out of your offense this year?
Just improvement, and throughout spring and throughout fall, that's definitely what we've done. And I mean, we just got to come to work every day and just keep improving. So I like where we're at. We just got to keep going.
Is there a big change for you this year compared to last year, or is it just executing more?
Not a big change, just kind of, with a season under our belt now, everyone kind of knows what to expect, and everyone feels a lot more confident with what we're doing. And now we're just really starting to put it together, so we just got to keep improving like we are.
Coach, do you expect to kind of have a running back by committee approach this year, or is it going to kind of fall on the shoulders of John?
Well, Dejan is our premier back right now. He's blessed to have Cortez Ham behind him in an opportunity that give him a health and make sure he's around for 11 games, but I certainly wouldn't call it by committee. I think those two have a phenomenal relationship with each other, and are brothers in the locker room and on the field. They both want to be successful, but they have different strengths, extremely different strengths. CJ is a ground and pound, 240-pound man that is tough to tackle, and Dejan can make some people miss in the open, and he's added some great weight and structure this season as well. So I think it's an incredible compliment to each other, not a committee. I think they really complement each other extremely well, and will both be on the field at the same time and multiple times as well.
Coach, after a couple of weeks of camp, I'd imagine everybody, including yourself, are kind of itching to go for that first game, come out on the road and then home against a tough opponent. Just talk about the mindset of the team getting set for game one.
Well, we just said after practice in the locker room real quick, because we got done at 11, so I had to get in the shower and get these guys washed up as quick as we could. But we had a quick staff meeting in the locker room about we're getting sick of hitting each other. We're getting sick of playing Augustana on both sides of the ball, and they're hungry to play someone else. And now we start delving into all the playbook is in, everything is done. It's what Dejan said, improving on the things that are already there and setting our sights on Crookston. We're not looking to week 2. We're looking at Crookston as, what are we going to put into our package? How well can we execute it? Making sure that we improve every single day. One of the things we talk about is improve, compete, and encourage. We want to improve every day we go out there, compete like our lives depend on, encourage the guys around us to do the same. And I believe that's where our mindset is, should be, and I look forward to seeing them on Monday when they get back from weekend break after Saturday's scrimmage, and the hunger in their eyes to go out and hit somebody else.
It's a pretty good test of that 1-0 mentality, maturity. I think it's no secret that Crookston's been pretty down the last couple of years, ever since they really got in the league, and it's a game that some could easily chalk up. Is this a pretty good test of your team's maturity right out the gate?
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to say it. We have to be mature enough to go in, take care of business, do what we do, and get better. Not just use it as an opportunity to play, but an opportunity to get better. Do we walk out of that game better than we walked into it in every area, in every phase in our football team? And that's what I'm going to challenge those guys with. You just led me into what my Monday talk about is to them of focus on your job. Everybody do your job, and at the end, Augustana will be singing the school fight song when it's done if everybody does their job. So that is the focus, and very single-mindedly so.
Nick, what have you noticed this year that takes this team from 4-7 a year ago? How you guys have improved?
I'd personally say that, I guess like the more reps that we're getting on the field. Last year, I guess we're still all learning. We're getting better every game, one game at a time, and I feel like, the off season kind of mental reps going over it, and then trying to bring it to the field for fall camp has really helped. Maturity level, like everyone else is saying, is a lot higher. So.
Coach, your schedule overall, you get a lot of the heavy hitters in conference here in this building.
Mm-hmm.
How much of an advantage can that give you potentially? I know obviously the road games are still going to be a challenge, especially going to St. Cloud, but knowing you can have your home crowd be on your home field against some of the heavyweights that you're trying to get to that level against.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd rather be at home than away anytime. I believe, and I truly do believe this, that we have the best stadium, facilities, fans in the country at Division II, and most of those fans will only see us at home. A lot of the parents and some will travel, but most of those fans will only see us at home, and they want to see a product that's going to be improving every week. I want KO to be the toughest place to play in the country. Our goal is real clear. We want to be playing here in December. We want to be playing here in late November, and I don't want to see a blade of grass in those end zones. That's not being bold. That's not being, anything else other than that's the goal. Whether we reach that goal or not, it's where it needs to be set, and I think it's an incredible advantage, regardless of who we play, to be at home. If it happens to be someone that right now is ranked ahead of us or has more experience than us, the NSIC is not an easy league, guys. As you can see, the teams that were traditionally towards the bottom third are now getting better. They're getting better resourced, so therefore their talent is getting better. And you don't see the gap in play nearly as much as you did, half a decade ago. at least if you look at last season. So we got to take it every day, and I think it is an advantage. I like playing them at home rather than on the road, and we got to seize the moment when that opportunity comes for us every single Saturday at KO.
How about your depth, all positions? You feel comfortable on what you got?
Yeah, comfort is an interesting word when you talk depth. I don't know that a head coach ever is comfortable in depth. I really, really, really like our last recruiting class. You know, our last 2 years, we've added depth to our positions. We're not there yet, truly in the depth perspective. But you'll talk to coaches in the SEC, and they say, if we can stay healthy. You know, it's almost how every coach is holding their press conference. If we can stay healthy, we got a shot, you know, this and that. I don't mean to be trite in that, but we're a little short in depth in some areas. But that gives an opportunity for a young man to step up. You know, that's what we're all about in our program, next man up. And we may be young in our depth in some spots, but they've had incredible reps through fall camp, you know, and spring for that matter. Some guys were held out with injuries in the spring that have had some incredible reps. So we'll see. You know, we'll see how that goes. And if they're called into duty, they got to be ready to go just like the guy ahead of them. And we believe that whether it's Dejan's backup or Trey's backup or Jake's or Nick's, they need to be nipping at their heels to make them the best they can be every day and push them to be the best they can be every day. And therefore, they're ready when it's their time to go.
What's your kicker situation? Because that was something a year ago that I know the guy got hurt, and that kind of did cost you in a couple games last year.
Yeah. I feel great about our kicking situation. Lucas is back. And his name is Lucas Wayman. He's our kicker and our punter. He got a medical red shirt last year. He broke our school record in one game and broke his leg in the next. So don't like that. But he knows never to lead the wedge again, going down on a kickoff. Learned a very valuable lesson, as our AD knows, that that's not what a kicker's job is. But Lucas is back, and he's hitting the ball very, very well. I thought that Ben did a really nice job in his role coming in and going in for our kicking situation last year with Lucas, and we have some decent depth in that. You know, we work in some backups just to be sure. We even have a young man that was an all-state kicker in the state of Minnesota who thinks he can still do it. But that would be the emergency pull the plug, red alarm, everybody's dead, put Trey in a kick game as that goes. So, but we're excited about that. I think we're going to be great. I think he's one of the best in the nation, and when he gets it all together, he's got an opportunity to do some really special things, and we trust him.
Are there any young guys that maybe the fan base should get accustomed to that might see a lot of playing time at the beginning of the year?
Well, define young. Young to me is they just got here.
Talking freshmen, sophomores, underclassmen.
Yeah. You know, there's some that are vying for some spots right now, and certainly will be depth play when we get into game scenario. That'll be determined by game scenario. Health, number one. Number two, how their play excels once they're in an actual game and the bright lights go on. It's easy to be good in practice, but once that moment steps in, and Trey talked about it earlier, sometimes that moment's bigger than you at that age or at that time of experience. There are several that may be new names for you guys to learn how to say their last name, but at this point right now, we feel good about who we are with what we are in the last year's guys going forward.
Jake, I know you got plenty of games till this point, but being a senior the last 2 years against Sioux Falls have not exactly gone your way. You guys starting to hear some more things from students or people around town? Is it kind of is that a little bit more circled this year than maybe it has been even more before?
I haven't really heard anything, to be honest. I kind of try not to keep caught up in that stuff because, man, it's just another game. And that's all you can do. You can't get worked up about things like that.
Jake, all indications, you know, everybody is bought into Coach's system and have a trust in him and knowing his track record. And what's the confidence level that this can easily flip from 4-7 to 7-4, or even better? Or I mean, as an athlete, you have to buy into the coach, and it seems like there's no doubt everybody has.
Yeah, I've been around for a while, and I've been around kids and teammates for some time now, and it's been a while since I've been around a group of guys like this that trust in each other and trust in the coaching staff, and they believe in what they do. So I'm looking forward to see how the season goes.